If you're over 50, you might feel stuck between two voices. One saying, keep pushing, and another gently asking, is it time? The truth is, retirement isn't just a financial decision. It's a health decision, a relationships decision, and sometimes a life-saving decision. In this video, we'll explore 8 powerful signs that you may need to retire sooner than you think, even if no one around you sees it yet. Some of these signs are physical, some are emotional, and some are deeply personal. But they all matter. So if you're feeling unsure, overwhelmed, or quietly craving more from life, stay with me. You may be closer to freedom than you realize. Sign 1, you dread work, even after a vacation. Everyone has rough mornings. But if you find yourself waking up with a heavy chest, staring at the ceiling and thinking, I can't do this again, not just on Mondays, but every day, that's a deeper warning. This isn't regular job stress. It's something bigger, emotional burnout. A vacation used to help. You'd come back refreshed. Now, even after a full week off, you feel just as tired. That's because burnout doesn't fix itself with time off. It's your body telling you, this is not sustainable. Studies show that long-term job dissatisfaction raises your risk of heart disease, depression, immune problems, and even early death. Your body knows when something's wrong, sometimes before your mind is ready to admit it. And here's the hard truth. No paycheck is worth destroying your health. People often wait until they're forced to stop working. By illness, by stress, or by an accident. But what if you gave yourself permission to stop before things fall apart? Let me tell you about Linda, a 63-year-old bookkeeper. She had been working the same job for over 30 years. Her coworkers relied on her. She pushed through headaches, exhaustion, and even panic attacks. Until one day, sitting in the parking lot, she realized she couldn't go inside. She took early retirement 6 months later. I lost a steady paycheck, she said, but I gained my health, my joy, and my mornings back. If work leaves you constantly drained, no matter how much rest you get, your body may be telling you, it's time to stop pushing. It's time to breathe, coming up. A physical sign that's harder to ignore and more dangerous to overlook. Sign 2, your health is quietly declining. It doesn't always start with a heart attack or a hospital visit. Sometimes it's smaller things. You don't sleep as well as you used to. Your blood pressure is creeping up. You've gained weight or lost energy or catch every little cold. These aren't random. These are stress signals, and they often show up years before a major health crisis. The truth is, long-term work stress is linked to a heart disease, a type 2 diabetes, a chronic fatigue, a digestive issues, and even cognitive decline. Your body keeps the score, and sometimes the cost of staying just one more year is permanent damage. Many older workers push through thinking, I'll retire once I fix my health. But often it's the other way around. You need to retire to heal. Take Martin, a 66-year-old sales manager. His doctor warned him about his rising cholesterol, pre-diabetes, and chronic back pain. He kept saying, I just need to hold on one more year to hit my retirement bonus. That year cost him. He ended up hospitalized with a minor stroke and had to retire anyway. Only now with medical bills and months of rehab. What if he had walked away sooner? What if you did? Retirement isn't about quitting. It's about preserving what you still have. Your energy, your mobility, your life. If you've noticed more frequent checkups, more pills, more warning signs, don't ignore them. Sometimes the most responsible thing you can do for your family is to stop before it's too late. Next, let's talk about your sense of identity and how it could be quietly setting you up for a rough landing. For years, maybe decades, you've had an answer. You're a teacher, a manager, a nurse, an engineer. It's more than a job title, it's who you are. But what happens when that job ends? Many people delay retirement not because they need the money, but because they don't know who they'd be without the job. This is one of the most dangerous and overlooked signs. It's a setup for what psychologists call identity shock. You've spent 30 or 40 years building your career, your reputation, your rhythm. Retirement threatens that identity, and for some, it creates a deep sense of loss, even grief. But here's the truth. If you wait until you're forced to leave and your job has become your whole identity, the emotional crash is much harder. Healthy retirement isn't just stepping away from work. It's stepping towards something new. Take Walter, a 68-year-old lawyer. He kept delaying retirement because he was afraid of being nobody. After finally retiring, he spent months feeling restless and invisible. Then one day, his granddaughter asked for help with a school debate. He lit up. That small moment reminded him. He still had something to offer, just in a new way. You're more than your job title, and retirement doesn't erase your purpose. It gives you space to rediscover it. If the thought of leaving work makes you feel empty or invisible, that's a sign it may be time to start building a new identity before the old one disappears. Next up, the sign most people overlook. Your numbers may already say yes, even if your fear says not yet. Sign 4, you've done the math and it's enough. Here's a powerful truth. Sometimes the only thing standing between you and retirement is fear. You've saved, you've budgeted, you've met with a financial advisor, and the numbers say you're okay, but still. You stay. Why? Because many of us have been taught to believe it's never enough. That no matter what you've saved, you should keep going just in case. And yes, retirement is a big decision. But if your financial plan is sound and you're staying out of anxiety instead of need, it might be time to reframe the question. Instead of asking, "Can I afford to retire?" ask, "Can I afford not to?" Consider this. What are you giving up by working another year? Time with loved ones, your health, opportunities to travel, explore, rest, the ability to enjoy your life while you're still strong enough to live it fully. Take Deborah, 61. She ran the numbers 5 times. Every plan said she was ready. Still, she hesitated until her husband had a sudden health scare. That moment changed everything. She retired early and never looked back. "I realized I wasn't just saving for retirement, I was saving my life for it," she said. Backhand index pointing right comment below. Have you run the numbers yet? Do they say you're ready? Let me know where you're at in your journey. Remember, retirement doesn't mean you stop living. It means you start living differently, on your own terms. Next, let's talk about a sign no spreadsheet will show. The feeling that your job may not last much longer, even if no one's told you yet. Sign 5, you're just waiting to be laid off. You feel it. The meetings are shorter. Your name gets skipped in emails. Younger hires are taking over tasks you used to lead. No one said anything directly, but something's shifted. If you're in your 60s and starting to feel phased out at work, that's not your imagination. It's a reality many older workers face. The truth is, companies rarely lay people off all at once anymore. They do it quietly. By reducing hours, changing roles, or making you feel irrelevant until you quit. So let's be honest. If you're staying out of fear of being pushed out, ask yourself, wouldn't it be better to leave on your own terms? There's nothing empowering about being caught off guard by a layoff you saw coming. But there's everything empowering about saying, "I choose to walk now, while I'm still ahead." Take Raymond, 64, a longtime IT manager. After a company merger, he stopped getting meaningful assignments. His younger coworkers were promoted past him. He realized he was just coasting to redundancy. So he made a plan, took early retirement, and now consults part-time. on his own schedule with clients who value his experience. Here's the point. You don't have to wait for the pink slip to make a change. If your gut tells you the clock is ticking, don't ignore it. Retirement doesn't have to be an escape. It can be a strategic move, one that protects your time, your dignity, and your future. And up next, we'll look at a deeper emotional clue, the loss of purpose that creeps in when your work no longer feeds your soul. Sign 6. You've lost passion and purpose. Some people stay in their jobs because they love what they do. Others stay because they're just used to it. But here's the question that matters most. Does your work still give you purpose? If the answer is no, that's a sign worth paying attention to. You may still be showing up every day, you may still be competent, even successful, but deep down you've checked out. You go through the motions, the fire is gone. That's not laziness. That's a sign you've outgrown this chapter of your life. And continuing to spend your days doing something that no longer inspires you can slowly chip away at your joy, your curiosity, and your connection to life. Retirement isn't just an ending, it's an opening. It's the space to rediscover purpose through travel, learning, volunteering, creating, or spending meaningful time with loved ones. Take Alina, 62, who had worked in HR for decades. She was excellent at her job, but drained. She realized she hadn't felt proud of her work in years. After retiring early, she began mentoring young women in her community. For the first time in a long time, she said, I feel like I'm doing something that matters again. If your work no longer brings you fulfillment, don't wait for it to come back. Sometimes purpose doesn't return within your job. It waits for you outside it, coming up. A deeply personal sign that too many people ignore until it's too late. The cost your job is having on your closest relationships. Sign 7. Your relationships are suffering. Work takes time. That's always been true. But when the best of your time, energy, and attention go to your job, what's left for the people you love? Think about it. How many times have you skipped family dinners because you were too tired? How often have you said, maybe next weekend, to your grandkids? When was the last time you sat with your spouse without distraction just to talk? We tell ourselves we're doing it for the family. But at some point, the job becomes the thing that keeps us from the family. Retirement isn't just about getting your time back. It's about giving that time to the right people. And the truth is, time is the one thing you never get back. Your partner won't always be there. Your grandkids won't always be little. A moment missed at 70 doesn't come around at 75. Take Robert, 67. His adult son once told him, "You were always working. Even when you were home, you weren't really here." That conversation hit hard. Robert retired the next year, and now spends every Friday babysitting his granddaughter. "It's the best day of my week," he says. If your relationships feel like they're being held together with short texts and guilt, maybe it's not your family that needs more effort. Maybe it's your job that needs to go. Next, let's close this out with the most hopeful sign of all. You're ready not just to retire, but to start something new. Sign 8, you're ready for your next chapter. Maybe you've been feeling it for a while, not fear, not dread, but something else. A quiet readiness. You're not trying to escape. You're not running from work. You're just ready for something more. Or maybe something less complicated. That feeling is a sign. It means your time in one chapter is naturally ending, and another is waiting to begin. For many, retirement isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing something different. Something meaningful, unhurried, intentional. Maybe you want to garden, paint, write that book. Spend every morning walking the dog without checking emails, or maybe you just want peace. Space to think, reflect, and finally live life on your own terms. Take Nancy, 64. She said, "I didn't hate my job, I just knew there was more to me than being a supervisor." I wanted to rediscover who I was when I wasn't rushing everywhere. She retired last spring. Now she volunteers at the library and spends her afternoons learning Italian. I feel more alive now, she says, than I did at any point in my career. Retirement is not the end of your relevance. It's the start of your reinvention. If you've been thinking about retirement, not from fear or frustration, but with a sense of quiet hope, listen to that voice. That voice is you evolving, and the next version of your life might be the most fulfilling yet. Let's wrap up with a few final thoughts. And what to do next if more than a few of these signs sounded like you. Don't wait for permission to live. If 3 or more of these signs hit home, you're not broken, you're ready, ready for rest, ready for reinvention, ready to reclaim your time, your health, and your purpose. Retirement isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself before something else chooses for you. Like burnout, illness, or regret. You don't have to prove anything. You've worked hard, you've shown up. And now maybe it's time to step into a chapter that's quieter, freer, more you. So let me ask you, which of these 8 signs resonated most with you? Leave a comment below. I read every one. If this video helped clarify anything for you, give it a thumbs up. And share it with someone who's quietly struggling with the same questions. And don't forget to subscribe for more content to help you live with strength, peace, and purpose. On your terms.